Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Nitai Gaur Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaur Chandra Nitai Gaur Chandra Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Thank you. 11th Canto, Chapter 24, Text 7.
11 giesmė, 24 skyrius, tekstas 7.
Vaikarikas tejascha
Vaikarikas tejasascha
Tamasasetahem trivrata
Tamasascetyaham trivita
Tanmatrendriya manasamam
Tanmatendriya manasam
Karanam Chidchinmaya
Karanam Chidachinmaya
Vaikarakas Tejasas Cha
Vaikarikas Tejasascha
Tamasasyam Trivrata
Tamasarchetyaham Trivrit
Tanmatrendriya Manasam
Tanmatendriya Manasam
Karanam Chidchinmaya
Karanam Chidachinmaya
Vaikarakas Tejascha
Vaikarikas Tejasascha
Tam Satyaham Trivrata
Tamasarchetyaham Trivrita
Tanmatrendriya Manasama
Tanmatendriya Manasam
Karanam Chit Chinmaya
Karanam Chidachinmaya
Vaikraka in the mode of goodness,
Dorybė
Tejas in the mode of passion,
Aistra
Cha and
ir
Tamasa in the mode of ignorance,
neišmanimų.
Cha also,
Taip pat,
Iti thus,
taip,
Aham false ego,
klaidinga savimonė,
Trivrata
tribrita,
in three categories,
trimis kategorijomis,
Tat Matra
matra,
of the subtle forms of sense objects,
subtilių jūslinių objektų formų,
Indriya
indrija,
of the senses,
jūslių,
Manasama
manasama
and of the mind,
ir proto.
Karanam,
Karanam
the cause,
yra priežastis,
Chit Achit,
čita čit,
both spirit and matter,
dvasia ir materija,
Maya,
maja
encompassing.
apima.
Translation: false ego, which is the cause of physical sensation, the senses and the mind, encompasses both spirit and matter, and manifests in three varieties in the modes of goodness, passion and ignorance.
Teksto vertimas. Klaidinga savimonė, kuri yra fizinių pojūčių, juslių ir proto priežastis, apima dvasią bei materiją ir įgyja išraišką per tris gunas – dorybės, aistros ir neišmanimo.
Purport: the word Chit Achinmaya, encompassing both spirit and matter, is significant in this regard. The false ego is the illusionary combination of the eternal conscious soul and the temporary unconscious body. Because the spirit soul desires to exploit licitly the creation of God, he is bewildered by the three modes of nature and assumes an illusory identity within the material world. Struggling to enjoy, he becomes more and more entangled in the complexities of illusion and only increases his anxiety. This hopeless situation can be overcome by taking to pure Krishna consciousness, in which the pleasure of the Supreme Lord becomes the only goal of one's life.
Komentaras. Dūriniui sačitanmaya, apimanti dvasią ir materiją, čia tenka svarbi reikšmė. Klaidinga savimonė, iliuzinis amžinos sąmoningos sielos ir laikino nesąmoningo kūno junginys. Kadangi nemateriali siela siekia neteisėtai išnaudoti Dievo kūrinyje, trys materialios gamtos gunos jai aptemdo sąmonę ir materialiame pasaulyje ji renkasi iliuzinę tapatybę. Atkakliai siekdama laimės, ji vis labiau klimpsta į iliuzijos raizgalynę ir nerimastis širdyje tik didėja. Išeitis iš šios beviltiškos padėties yra tyra Krišnos sąmonė, kurią pelnius vieninteliu gyvenimo tikslu tampa aukščiausiojo viešpaties džiaugsmas.
Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamaya Tadhati Swapadantikam Vande Shri Atpat Kamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadutam Rijana Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Raghunathan Lalita Shri Vishaka Vedamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutam Devi Patam Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So as we the previous chapter there was the teaching by Srila Prabhupada that how to one has to control the mind.
Ir prieš tai einančiame skyriuje buvo aptarinėjama, kaip reikėtų valdyti protą.
So now we see that how our mind and senses get entangled with this material world, with the matter and false ego, which is explained now in these chapters.
Ir šiame skyriuje mes pažįstame, kaip protas yra susiejamas su juslėmis šiame materialiame pasaulyje ir kaip mes tai galim patirti.
So this is an understanding of Sankhya philosophy, which is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto by Lord Kapila.
Ir čia mes gauname supratimą Sankhya filosofijos, kuri yra paaiškinta Srimad Bhagavatam 3 giesmėje.
So this Sankhya philosophy means that the one has to understand the difference between the matter, the material energy, and also the divine energy, which is Krishna's internal potency.
Ir Sankhya filosofija tai reiškia, kad reikia suprasti materialią energiją ir dievišką energiją, kuri yra Krishnos galia.
Therefore, Lord Kapila Muni, he gives the instruction to Mother Devhuti.
Ir Kapila aiškina Devahuti apie tą filosofiją.
Yeah, that means the knowledge and what is the application of knowledge.
Aiškina, kas yra žinios ir kaip žinios yra taikomos.
Srila Prabhupada explains that in the Satyuga and Treta Yuga there were knowledge and the practical, there was all like same. The approach of knowledge was same.
Ir Srila Prabhupada aiškina, kad Satya Yugai, Treta Yugai žinios ir žinios buvo tas pats, ar įgyti žinias, ar taikyti žinias buvo tas pats.
But now in Kali Yuga, Srila Prabhupada explains that nowadays the scientists, they're all theoretically, they don't have fully practical, this doesn't match with their knowledge.
Ir Srila Prabhupada aiškina, kad Kali amžiuje įvairius mokslininkai kelia įvairias teorijas ir dažnai tos teorijos su praktiniu pritaikymu nesutampa.
It's basically based on the false theory these days.
Ir pagrindė tai būna paremta netikromis teorijomis.
It doesn't stay fixed, it's always changing.
Tai neišlieka stabiliai visą laiką, tai nuolatos keičiasi.
Because they don't have the deep understanding about who is behind all this, the matter.
Nes jie neturi to gilaus supratimo, kas už viso to yra ir stovi.
So they think like life comes from the matter.
Taigi tokiu būdu
Life comes from matter.
jie galvoja,
That's why the scientists' theories are.
Tai jie tokiu būdu galvoja, kad gyvenimas kyla iš materijos.
So Srila Prabhupada give very nice example.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada duoda labai gražų pavyzdį.
He says that we see wonderful car,
Jisai sako, kai matome gražų automobilį,
and behind this car there is a lot of, someone has built it, someone has put it his intelligence.
bet kad tas automobilis, kol tampa toks gražus, už to yra daug įdėta įvairių pastangų ir buvo įdėta daug intelekto.
It's not just produced by by itself.
Ir tai nebuvo tiesiog tai pagaminta arba pats pasigamino.
So same way that all this material energy, all this world, all this cosmic manifestation, that someone is behind them.
Ir lygiai tas pats šis materialus pasaulis ar kosminės apraiškos, kažkas už to yra.
And that is, Prabhupada said, that is Krishna.
Ir Prabhupada sako, tai yra Krishna.
And everything emanates from him, all the non-moving and moving creatures.
Ir viskas sklinda iš jo judančios ar nejudančios būtybės.
So here we see that Prabhupada said the false ego, which is, it is actually the false identification of the person's mind.
Ir čia aiškinam apie netikrąjį ego, netikrasis ego, tai yra neteisingas supratimas apie asmens protę.
The false ego, basically, when we are coming in contact with the matter, we think that it's we coming from the matter.
Ir netikrasis ego, jisai išsikeroja, kai susiliečiame su materija ir pradama galvoti, kad esame materija.
But it's not possible. Srila Prabhupada said that life doesn't produce from the matter.
Bet tai neįmanoma. Šrila Prabhupada aiškina, kad materija, gyvenimas negali kilti iš materijos.
And due to this false ego, one has fallen in the modes of, 3 modes of material nature.
Ir per netikrą ego puolama
Three modes of material nature.
Nature. Yra įpuolama į 3 materialios gamtos būvius.
These are Krishna's energy, the material energy, which is considered inferior energy.
Tai yra Krišnos energija, yra materiali energija, kuri yra išorinė energija.
Also the living soul, the spirit, also the Krishna's energy is divine energy.
Ir taip pat yra dvasinė energija, kuri yra Krišnos energija.
But due to our wrong identification that I belong to this material world, we fall, we come into the clutches of these 3 modes of material.
Ir dėl neteisingo supratimo, kad aš esu dalis šio materialaus pasaulio, patenkame į tas 3 pančius materialaus pasaulio.
And these 3 modes of material nature, there are so many, Krishna Prabhupada said, there are so many Krishna's energy, so many, but then all they are working under Krishna's will.
Ir tos 3 energijos materialaus pasaulio, jos veikia pagal Krišnos valią.
So as we know, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained, Devi Asha Gunmai Mam Maya Durate, in the 7th chapter, 7.14. So we will read that verse.
Bhagavad Gitaje 7.14 Krishna aiškina.
So this is we read from 7 chapter 14 text from Bhagavad Gita, which is lead to this particular verse, the how these 3 modes of material nature working.
Ir Bhagavad-gitos 7 skyrius 14 tekstas duoda tokį paaiškinimą šiandieniam tekstui, kaip veikia 3 materialios gamtos energijos gunos.
So Devi Aisha Gunmai Mamaya Durataya Mama Eva Prapadyante Mam Mayam Etam Tarantite. So Krishna explains, this is a translation. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Ir šiame tekste Krishna aiškina, sunku nugalėti šią dievišką mano energiją, kurią sudaro 3 materialios gamtos gunos, bet lengvai ją įveikia tie, kurie atsidavė man.
Prabhupada, I was hearing from Srila Prabhupada lecture yesterday that Prabhupada explained these 3 modes of material nature, and due to our false, our furtive desires in our mind, in subtle mind, once come into the contact of these energies.
Ir vakar klausiau Prabhupados paskaitą, kurioje jis aiškino, kad dėl neteisingo ego protas per šias materialios gamtos gunas priima tai kaip kontaktuoja su tomis 3 energijomis.
These are 3 gunas, means 3 modes. They are like goodness, passion and ignorance.
Ir tai yra 3 gunos, 3 energijos, tai yra aistra, neišmanimas ir dorybė.
Prabhupada said that this is like a rope, somebody bound by a rope.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada tai aiškina, kad tai yra tarsi virvė, kai kažkas spančiotas yra virvė.
And cannot open himself because we are bound, so we have no strength to open.
Ir negali atsirišti, nes kai esi surištas, tai yra taip stipru, kad negali atsirišti.
And Srila Prabhupada gives an example of the man who is bound by himself, somebody bound him, legs and hands and everything, how you can untie yourself.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada duoda pavyzdį, kad kai kai žmogus yra surištas virve, kai stipriai surištos rankos ir kojos, tai žmogus negali pats atsirišti.
So someone has to come untie us who is already liberated.
Ir turi ateiti kažkas, kas jau yra laisvas, nesupančiotas.
So Prabhupada explains that in this whole universe and material and spiritual, only the person is fully liberated in Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada aiškina, kad šiame materialiame pasaulyje yra vienintelė asmenybė, kuri yra visiškai nesupančiota ir laisva, tai yra Shri Krishna.
That is what it is described in the purport of this text, that if by taking to the pure Krishna consciousness, in which the pleasure of the Supreme Lord becomes the only goal of one's life.
Ir prie šio Bhagavad-gitos teksto komentare aiškinama, kad
this is this is the purport of the text today we're reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. This hopeless situation can be overcome by taking Krishna consciousness.
Ir šios dienos Bhagavatam komentare pasakyta, kad išeiti iš šios beviltiškos padėties yra Krishna sąmonė.
So, and also Prabhupada is saying in the class that there is no other alternative.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada paskaitoj savo aiškina, kad nėra jokių alternatyvų.
Like Srila Prabhupada said that if there was another example Prabhupada gives, that there's if you working under the you know that if by doing some crime the police will catch you and put you in the lockup.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada duoda dar vieną pavyzdį, kad kai darai nusikaltimą, policija sučiups ir įkalins.
But if one actingly according to the government rules,
bet bus veikiama vadovaujantis valdžios taisyklėmis.
So then the police has nothing to do with us.
Ir policija negalės nieko daugiau su mumis padaryti.
So we are bound by this three modes of matter since time immemorial.
Ir tokie dėsniai veikia nuo neatmenamų laikų.
So there is the only way that by understanding this knowledge of Sankhya, that means knowledge that what is matter and who we are, knowledge between the soul and the matter.
Ir tai yra principas, kai veikti, kai išmanant Sankhya filosofiją, suprantant, kas yra materija ir kas yra dvasinis veikimas.
That is why the Krishna was explaining the Bhagavad Gita, the whole purpose to speak Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna.
Ir Shri Krishna Bhagavad Gitoje kalba Arjunai.
He was giving this knowledge to Arjuna because Arjuna was here acting as that he was bound, his mind was bound by these modes.
Ir Arjunai aiškinamos tas žinios, nes Arjuna tuo metu jo protas buvo supančiatas šiomis gunomis.
Yeah, it seems to be that he was attached to his brothers and the families.
Ir taip atrodė, kad jisai yra labai prisirišęs prie savo brolių ir prie savo šeimos.
And that's why Krishna here, he gives knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna.
Ir dėl to Krishna duoda Bhagavad Gita žinojimą Arjunai.
Because without this knowledge, there wouldn't be possible to overcome to these thoughts.
Ir be šių žinių nebūtų įmanoma praeiti šios trikdžius.
So as we come in the contact of three modes of material nature,
Taigi, kai mes ateiname į trijų materialių gamtos gūnų susiliečiam su jom,
we continue wants to enjoy because we think because this there is I am controlling, that's the false ego arise due to our identification with the matter.
Ir kai mumise visi yra tasai noras tenkintis ir tenkintis, nes mes jaučiamės kaip valdantis visą tai dėl susilietimo su materija.
And the person continuously trying always to become happy and peaceful in this material world.
Ir asmuo bando vis pasiekti laimę ir išlikti ramus šiame materialiame pasaulyje.
And more ones try to artificially become happy with this material nature.
Ir asmuo vis bando dirbtinai tapti laimingu šioje materialioje gamtoje.
More we become entangled, more we become miseries.
Labiau vis tampame labiau pririšti ir vis labiau ir vis daugiau nelaimių sulaukiame.
Because whole this three modes of material nature, these are the rope which is completely tying us.
Nes materialios gamtos gūnos yra tarsi virvės ir vis jos labiau mūsų pančioje.
Srila Prabhupada was explaining in Srimad Bhagavatam basically is impossible. It's very, very, very difficult to overcome.
Ir Srila Prabhupada Bhagavatam aiškina, kad labai sunku ir netgi neįmanoma visą tai praeiti.
So that's why someone has to come who have to untie us from this rope.
Taigi reikalinga, kad kažkas ateitų ir galėtų atrišti tas virves.
That's why in this age of Kali there is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he gave this philosophy and the philosophy of Krishna consciousness.
Ir štai kodėl Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu atėjo šiame Kali amžiuje ir davė Krishna sąmonės filosofiją.
Here in the purport of this verse, The one place Srila Prabhupada explains that even though Lord Shiva and the Brahma, they are also like controlled. They're also controlled by this material energy.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada aiškina, kad netgi Šiva ir Brahma, jie yra taip pat valdomi materialios energijos.
Here Prabhupada explained the word Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna only.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada aiškina, word mam, taip?
Mam means unto Krishna. To Krishna.
Ir žodis mam yra reiškiantis, kad dėl Krišnos.
Means one has to surrender unto Krishna.
Ir reiškia atsiduoti Krišnai.
Here Prabhupada says not Brahma or Shiva.
Ne Brahmai ar Šivai.
Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and or are almost on the level of Vishnu.
Ir Brahma ir Šiva jie yra pakelėti, yra kaip Višnu lygyje.
It is not possible for such incarnations of Rajaguna and Tamaguna to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. This is, the Bhagavad Gita 7.14. I'm reading the last paragraph of the purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can read it.
Ir Prabhupada komentarė Bhagavad Gita 7.14 aiškina, kad Brahma ir Šiva taip pat yra Majos įtakoje.
Yeah. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya.
Ir Višnu yra vienintelis Majos valdovas.
Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul.
Todėl tik jis gali išvaduoti sąlygotą sielą.
So basically, we see all these managers, they are appointed by Krishna.
Taigi mes matome, kad šie visi valdytojai, jie yra priklausomi nuo Krišnos.
Yeah, even we see sometime the Brahma, he was lusty after his own daughter.
Ir mes galime matyti iš istorijų, kad Brahma netgi jam sukilo geismas jo paties dukrai.
So that's why here mentioned Mam means only Krishna.
Ir štai kodėl šiame Bhagavad Gitos tekste naudojama žodis mam, tik tai
Prabhupada writes
Krishna.
only Krishna, only. There is the only meaning.
Ir Prabhupada aiškina, kad mam reiškia tik.
So here we know, like Prabhupada said, that in this material world everyone trying to become happy somehow or other by creating some formula or something.
Ir šiame materialiame pasaulyje kiekvienas bando tapti laimingu, kurdamas savo kažkokias formulės.
And some countries, they're creating missiles, Prabhupada explained, they're creating missiles, so their country can be free from the dangers to the other countries. They're creating missiles, the weapons to save the country.
Ir Šrila Prabhupadas sako, kad kiekviena šalis bando susikurti savo kažkokius ginklus, kad apsaugoti šalį.
But Prabhupada says the misery still exists.
Bet Šrila Prabhupada sako, kad vis tiek kančios jos lieka.
There are always war.
Ir nuolatos kyla karai.
More and more weapon we create, more and more annihilation comes.
Ir kuo daugiau ginklų kuriama yra, tai tuo labiau konfliktų kyla.
Prabhupada explains that there was someone in the beginning who was thinking, if we make an airplane, so it will be very nice to travel through the air.
Ir Prabhupada sako, kad pradžioje kažkada pagalvojo, kad mes sukursime lėktuvus, bus labai lengva keliauti oru.
But still there is a misery because sometime this plane cannot cross some airspace, some other countries.
Bet matome, kad vis dar kyla problemų, nes kai kurie lėktuvai negali kažkokios erdvės kirsti virš kažkokios šalies.
Yeah, because we see that everything is controlled by the Mother Nature.
Nes matome, kad viskas yra valdoma motinos gamtos.
Because of this because of our desires, we have fallen into this ocean of nations due to our fruitive desires.
Ir dėl mūsų troškimų mes įpuolame į tos įpuolame į neišmanymą dėl prisirišimo prie veiklos rezultatų.
That's why we have to approach the person who is liberated, who can really liberate us.
Ir dėl to svarbu rasti ryšį su asmeniu, kuris yra laisvas ir galėtų mus išlaisvinti.
The Prabhupada gave another example in this one of his lecture on the topic of false ego.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada vienoje iš savo paskaitų apie netikrą ego duoda pavyzdį.
He said there was a Prime Minister of America, John Kennedy, yeah? Yeah, the president.
Prabhupada sako, kad buvo Jungtinių Amerikos valstijų prezidentas
I
Kennedy.
think he was one of the most happy men considered.
Ir jisai buvo laikomas vienu laimingiausių žmonių.
And there was a parade, he was coming, and many armed force security.
Ir vyko paradas, kur prezidentas važiavo per žmonių ir buvo labai daug armijos apsaugos.
And Prabhupada said that out of sudden, just in another minute, everything was collapsed. He just got finished.
Ir kažkurią minutę viskas tiesiog buvo sustabdyta, viskas buvo
I'm
baigta.
sorry, I don't know the whole story, but the Prabhupada knew, but yeah, he was shocked that he was considered by his citizens like most happy person.
Ir jisai buvo nušautas vieno iš jo valdomo šalies
So
gyventojų.
this is a false ego. We thinking, by coming, by enjoying this material nature, by enjoying with the matters, with the different matters and which are produced, like some cars and some machines and some planes, we can become happy.
Ir mes galvojame, kad mes galime tapti laimingi naudodamiesi materialiais dalykais, kurie yra pagaminti, tai kaip naudotis automobiliu ar kažkokiais daiktais ir kad taip galima tapti laimingais.
But without the consciousness, one cannot become happy.
Bet be sąmoningumo niekas negali tapti laimingas.
So this is Srila Prabhupada. He explained, basically Srila Prabhupada is the one person who actually came to liberate this material world.
Ir tai Prabhupada aiškina, ir Prabhupada buvo tas asmo, kuris atėjo išlaisvinti šį materialų pasaulį.
Because this world is created in such a way, like you cannot, you more and more entangled and more getting complicated it's becoming.
Nes šis pasaulis yra taip sukurtas, kad jūs tampate vis labiau supančioti ir viskas tampa vis sudėtingiau.
It is considered as jail,
Tai prilyginama kalėjimui,
where you cannot come out without the mercy of the higher authorities.
Iš kalėjimo jūs negalite išeiti be aukščiausio autoriteto malonės.
If we are trapped into the jail, then some higher authorities we have to approach. Only that way possible we get out of the jail.
Ir jeigu patenkame į kalėjimą, tai mes negalime išeiti, jeigu mes nesikreipiame į autoritetą, kuris duoda leidimą.
Several places Srila Prabhupada said that this is Durg. Durg means the killa, the fort, the jail.
Ir Prabhupada keletoje vietoje mini, kad tai yra Durga. Durga tai reiškia kalėjimas.
And Durga means also Mahamaya, Krishna's material energy.
Ir Durga dar taip pat reiškia Mahamaya, Krishnos išorinė energija.
So under the Krishna's will, she is controlling everyone.
Ir Krishnos valia jį kontroliuoja kiekvieną.
Only people can be liberated by knowing the knowledge of oneself, the knowledge of the soul.
Ir žmonės gali būti išlaisvinti tik tai žinodami, turėdami žinias apie save, turėdami žinias apie sielą.
Because there is no one can count that since when we came in contact with this material energy.
Ir niekas negali aiškiai pasakyti ir suskaičiuoti, kada mes susilietėme su materialia gamta.
Another reason Prabhupada says that why we got this false ego.
Ir Prabhupada sako, kodėl mes gavome tą netikrą ego.
Because the soul is part and parcel of Krishna, part and parcel of Lord.
Nes siela yra dalelė Krishnos.
So it has the similar potency in a minute way.
Ir siela turi tą pačią potenciją, bet tik tai mažesnių kiekių.
As we are part and parcel of the Lord, so we have similar tendency to enjoy sometimes.
Ir kadangi esame Krishnos dalelė, turime tą potencialą mėgautis.
But Prabhupada says the devotees, they don't think like that.
Bet Prabhupada sako, kad atsidavusiai negalvoja taip.
They understand that Krishna is the supreme controller.
Ir Prabhupada sako, kad atsidavusiai supranta, kad Krishna yra aukščiausiasis valdovas.
And we are the servant of Krishna.
O jie yra Krishnos tarnai.
So when Jiva he hear this knowledge,
ir kai Jiva siela girdi tas žinias,
and this is the only way then to remember our real constitutional position.
Ir tik tai vienintelis būdas tai suprasti, tai yra per tikrąją konstitucinę padėtį. Tokiu būdu prisimena savo konstitucinę padėtį. Ačiū.
So now I would read a little bit more Srila Prabhupada the lecture.
Paskaitysime truputį ištraukos iš Srilos Prabhupados paskaitos.
7, 14. This is the lecture Prabhupada gave in September 1969.
Čia yra Srilos Prabhupados paskaita skaityta 1969 metais rugsėjį.
This is lecture on Bhagavad Gita 7.14 on this particular verse.
Būtent Bhagavad Gita 7.14 tekstui.
This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam today, what we are trying to understand.
Tai yra susijusi su tuo tekstu, kurį mes skaitom šiandien Srimad Bhagavatam ir bandom suprasti.
This is the same, also the text Bhagavad Gita 7.14.
Ir čia tai tas pats Bhagavad Gitos tekstas 7.14.
So here Prabhupada is saying in the class, I'm reading a second paragraph. So what is the ultimate problem?
Ir Prabhupada paskaitoj sako, taigi kas yra pagrindinė problema?
The ultimate problem is we do not want to suffer.
Problema yra, kad mes nenorime kentėti.
That's all. We want comfortable and peaceful life.
Tai tiek, mes tiesiog norime patogaus, komfortiško gyvenimo.
So here I want to understand by myself, like how one can be happy without the mother, without some mother, if we lose our mother, how we can be happy?
Ir čia aš pats savo bandau paaiškinti, kad suprasti, tai kaip mes galime būti laimingi be mamos.
Igor Chandrakirti. Because sometimes we see how a child is crying. If mother is little for a few minutes away and small baby is crying.
Mes galime matyti, kai vaikas pradeda verkti, jeigu mažas vaikas pradeda verkti, jeigu mama nors šiek tiek keliom minutėm atsitraukia nuo jo.
Because the child understand, oh, this is my mother and I'm fully. Child doesn't take care about any miseries of the world. There is no fear because the mother is present there.
Nes vaikas supranta, kad visiškai jisai priklauso nuo mamos ir vaikas jisai nejaučia kažkokių tai neramumų ar neramumų šiame pasaulyje, nes jisai yra mamos globojimas.
The same way, because we are away from our real God, real father, real mother, we are away. We are just thrown into with the false identification and to this material energy.
Lygiai tas pats ir mums, kai mes atsitraukiame nuo Dievo, nuo aukščiausio valdovo ir pasineriame į materialios gamtos energiją.
And that's the reason we always unhappy.
Ir štai yra priežastis, kodėl mes nuolatos esame nelaimingi.
Because as I explained the previous examples of Prabhupada, how he has spoken, that whatever we do in this material, whatever we create, we're still unhappy.
Ir kaip mes prieš tai aiškinu Prabhupados per pavyzdį, kad per tuos dalykus, kuriuos darome, mes netampame laimingi, mes būname nelaimingi.
Because the nature of the soul have consciousness.
Nes sielos prigimtis yra būti sąmoninga.
The soul, how the soul can enjoy with the dead matter is not practical.
Ir kaipgi siela gali mėgautis negyva gamta, negyva materija.
If you have such a wonderful car, but no driver, Prabhupada says, no driver.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada duoda pavyzdį, kad jeigu yra nuostabus automobilis, bet nėra jame vairuotojo.
So what is the use of this car? This is just in a dead matter.
Kokia nauda iš tokio automobilio, tai yra tiesiog negyva medžiaga.
So in the same way, this material body have soul and it has some value.
Ir lygiai tas pats šis kūnas, kai viduje yra siela, tai yra kažko vertingas.
So when soul come on the planet after miseries and miseries and miseries, after life and many times roaming into this cycle.
Ir gyvenimas per gyvenimo siela eina per kančias ir tai eina ciklas iš ciklo.
One trying to overcome to these miseries.
Ir kiekvienas bando kažkaip tai pereiti tas kančias.
Trying to and coming to the platform of thinking, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, which is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, when soul start feel like, oh, there is no way to get out of this.
Ir bando perėti kančias, bandydama galvoti, ir čia cituojamas Srimad Bhagavatam pats pirmas posmas, kad there is no way of this.
There is no way of get out of this.
Kad nėra būdo iš viso to išsigelbėti.
And that time souls come to the real understanding, feel inquisitiveness, feeling like how to feel in the heart, that to inquire how to free from this anxieties.
So
after life of miseries
ir gyvenimas po gyvenimo kančių,
the souls trying to understand how to get out of this situation.
Siela pradeda suprasti, kaip išsigelbėti nuo šių kančių.
And there, as a Paramatma super soul, Krishna within the heart of everyone, He's
Yes.
trying to guide us.
Nes Paramatma, super siela Krišna yra kiekvieno širdyje ir veda mus.
Also, the Lord Brahma, Prabhupada said, Lord Brahma, he got confused. He was very confused.
Ir Prabhupada sako, kad netgi viešpats Brahma buvo sutrikęs.
And he just was thinking, he couldn't understand. He was sitting on the lotus.
Ir Brahma sėdėjo ant lotose ir negalėjo suprasti.
And there Krishna guided him.
Ir tuomet Krišna
tapasya, austerity.
pradėjo davė jam nurodymus.
In the same way, when we after unlimited lives of suffering and suffering and suffering,
Po begalės gyvenimo kenčių
we try to inquire why is it that happening?
mes pradame susimastyti ir klausti, kodėl tai vyksta.
So I understand that we are so fortunate because somehow we came by the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhus. We came in contact with them.
Ir aš suprantu, kad mes gavome didžią malonę, kad Šilos Prabhupados malonę mes galėjome susiliesti su juo.
You see, the Prabhupada said, Anandamayo Vyasat. This is Vedanta Sutra. Oh, sorry, it's not there. This is one of his lecture.
Ir Prabhupada toje paskaitoje sako Anandamayo Vyasat.
Meaning is that by natural tendency he wants joyful life. He means the soul, the person.
Ir šitai reiškia, kad natūrali tendencija yra, kad kyla noras jam kyla noras džiaugsmingai gyventi.
So here one song was written in Bengali, but I won't read it. I constructed my home to live very peacefully and comfortably.
Aš pastačiau namą, kad galėčiau jame gyventi patogiai ir saugiai.
All of a sudden there was set fire and everything vanquished.
Ir kilo gaisras ir viskas supleškėjo.
This is what we say. We live in the dream world. Oh, like I will get this much power. I will be the next president of the country. No, I have to kill this guy Putin. No. Just get rid of this all.
Ir mes matome, kaip vyksta gyvenime, aš tapsiu žymus, tapsiu prezidentu ir tiesiog vieno nepatenkinto asmens, dėl vieno nepasitenkino asmens, tai viskas gali nutrūkti.
Are we really becoming happy?
Ar tikrai mes tampame laimingais?
No, because this is simply fear. This is the logic. Why you want to be so powerful? Because you have fear from everyone.
Netampame, nes dominuoja baimė. Kodėl jūs norite tapti toks galingas, nes viso ko bijoma ir dominuoja baimė.
So that's why devotees are taking shelter of Krishna. They are fearless.
Ir štai kodėl atsidavusiai priima Krišnos prieglobstį, nes jisai yra be baimės.
But in this world, we are, due to our false ego, all this material conception of life, we think we can become happy always.
Bet dėl šio materialaus pasaulio mums atsiranda gyvenimo koncepcija būti laimingu.
Yeah, here Prabhupada was saying that this John Kennedy, the president, he said, just in a second, everything was finished, Prabhupada.
Ir Prabhupada pavyzdėje apie Kennedy sako, kad tiesiog per sekundę viskas buvo baigta.
We see practically no one is happy. We see there's a war amongst Ukraine and Russia. There's always some wars.
Ir mes matome, kad nuolatos vyksta neramumai ir nelaimė, dabar šiuo metu vyksta Ukraina ir Rusija kariauja.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that because the three modes of material nature is giving you is binding you through different rope according to your karma, how you acting in this material world.
Ir pasakyta, kad trys materialios gamtos gunos supančia jūs pagal jūsų karmą, kaip jūs veikiate.
And we see that there is unnecessarily miseries falling on our head.
Ir mes matome, kad visokie sunkumai užkrenta mums ant galvos.
And but we we are living, we are in the control of material energy.
Ir valdomi materialios energijos.
We not understanding that we are actually controlled. We not understanding this.
Mes nesuprasime, kad esame iš tikrųjų valdomi.
We thinking like, oh, okay, we making a vaccine, COVID vaccine, and we can be free from this COVID.
Ir gal pagalvojame, kad pavyzdžiui pasiskiepysime nuo COVID'o ir tuomet mes būsime išlaisvinti nuo šito neramumo.
Srila Prabhupada explained that even scientists they says in future we will overcome of death.
Ir Srila Prabhupada sako, kad mokslininkai teigia, kad ateityje mes sugebėsime išvengti mirties.
But it is impossible.
Bet tai yra neįmanoma.
Yeah, so every second, every step is a danger in this universe.
Ir kiekviena sekundė, kiekvienas žingsnis yra pavojus šioje visatoje.
Yeah, because Krishna created such a way that we will be entangled due to our desires.
Ir Krishna taip sukuria, kad mes esame supančioti mūsų troškimų.
So one second. So Prabhupada was saying that even like in America, people trying to create like subways.
Prabhupada sako, kad Amerikoje žmonės stato greitkelius.
And still there were problems. There are problem of hippies, there are problem of this and that. There are always some issues.
Bet vis tiek yra visokių problemų, tai yra problemų su hippiais, ar dar su kažkokiais nuolatos iššūkiai.
And there is now, because of we see that there are so many countries facing the fights and war.
Matome, kad įvairios šalis nuolatos patenka į karus.
And so Srila Prabhupada here saying that he was reading about world almanac that next 100 years people will go underground. They will live underground. Prabhupada, he read when he was in America.
Prabhupada Amerikoje perskaitė.
He read that now another next 100 years people will try to live underground.
Kad per sekančius 100 metų žmonės pradės gyventi po žeme.
And Prabhupada saying, they will come on the surface just to breathe little freely.
Ir Srila Prabhupada sako, tik pažiūrėkite, jie iškyla į paviršių, tik tai truputį įkvėpti oro.
And Prabhupada said, otherwise they will have to live within underground. So another problem is coming.
Ir taigi jie turės gyventi po žeme ir tokiu būdu kita problema ateina.
So that's why Prabhupada said, but intelligent persons should think of how this ultimate problem can be solved.
Ir Prabhupada sako, bet išmintingas žmogus turėtų pagalvoti, kaip ši problema gali būti išspręsta.
Prabhupada said, the problem is there, you agree, everyone agree.
Ir Prabhupada sako, problema yra, kad kiekvienas su tuo susitaiko.
So now Prabhupada said that Yeah, this is the verse we were reading, 7.14. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome.
Ir Prabhupada cituoja tą 7.14 tekstą, kad sunku nugalėti šią dievišką energiją, kurią sudaro trys materialios gamtos gūnos.
But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Bet lengvai veikia tie, kurie atsidavė man.
Yeah, this is the solution.
Tai yra sprendimas.
Because Krishna assures that he can untie us completely.
Nes Krišna užtikrina mus, kad jisai gali mus visiškai atrišti, išlaisvinti.
Basically, the soul has given preference. Either you can surrender to Krishna, or you can just surrender to this. You can be in the clutches of the three modes of.
Tiesiog sielai tenka rinktis, ar jūs atsiduodate Krišnai, ar atsiduodate materialios gamtos gūnų valdžiai.
Yeah. So if we take the simple process, just remembering that there is Prabhupada said this is very scientific process.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada sako, kad yra paprastas, bet labai moksliškas procesas.
It's just not a sentiments.
Tai ne sentimentai.
Because there is a personality who is controlling all the universe.
Yra asmenybė, kuri valdo visą visatą.
That's why Srila Prabhupada explained this knowledge to the worldwide people.
Nes štai kodėl Prabhupada aiškina šią žinias visam pasauliui.
This is the knowledge about oneself, the soul.
Ir tai yra žinios apie save, apie sielą.
And then when we understand that we are soul, so we trying to understand and then who is above us, what is our connection, what is our activities.
Ir jeigu mes suprantame, kad mes esame siela, mes tuomet bandome suprasti, koks yra ryšys su viso tuo.
So Krishna is super soul and we are soul. We are tiny Paramatma. Prabhupada says we are tiny Paramatma.
Ir Krishna yra super siela, o mes esame siela, mes esame maža Paramatma.
We just trying to control our body.
Ir jisai valdo mus per kūną.
But Krishna is controlling everything.
Mes bandome valdyti savo kūną, bet Krishna valdo mus visus.
So when the souls understand and fully situate in our constitutional position, which is the servant of Krishna.
Ir siela, kai supranta tikrąją padėtį, kad yra Krishnos tarno.
The soul become liberated.
Tuomet siela išsilaisvina.
So this is actually meaning of the verse, that one can be liberated by these three modes of material nature. One can be liberated by three modes of material nature.
Ir čia posmas aiškina, kad mes net galim būti išlaisvinti per tris materialios gamtos gūnas.
By accepting the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam.
Priimdami Bhagavad Gitos ir Srimad Bhagavatam žinias.
Prabhupada said that once you hear about Krishna consciousness, you're already liberated.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada sako, kad netgi išgirdę apie Krishnos sąmonę, jūs jau esate išlaisvinti.
And once you start chanting Mahamantra, Krishna's name, and you know about Krishna quality and the place, his abode, then we fully like get rid of all the situations.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada sako, kai tik pradeda kartoti Hare Krishna Mahamantrą ir sužinote apie viešpaties Krishnos savybės, jums galite atsikratyti visų šitų situacijų.
Basically, there is no other alternative. There's no other way.
Ir nėra jokių kitų alternatyvų, nėra kito kelio.
One has to surrender.
Kiekvienas turi atsiduoti.
Either you surrender to Maya or you surrender to Krishna.
Ar jūs atsiduodate Mai, ar atsiduodate Krishnai.
So that's what my understanding too, that, there is no way, like how materially we advance. The matter is matter.
Ir mano supratimu, kad nėra kito kelio, kaip materialiai jūs bebūtume apsirūpinę, nes materija yra materija.
So we cannot enjoy with just matter.
Mes negalime mėgautis šią materiją.
This material cosmic manifestation, the universes, these are temporary basically. They are temporary. All the material world is temporary.
Ir visas šis materialus pasaulis, ši visata tai yra laikinas.
Prabhupada said it's like a rain cloud, when the rain is there.
Ir Šrila Prabhupada sako, kad tai tarsi lietaus debesis.
It just comes and goes.
Jis užslenka ir nuslenka.
But the Krishna's abode, the eternal abode, is eternal, which is Krishna's home, Vrindavan.
Krishnos amžinoji buveinė, jinai yra amžina Krishnos namuose Vrindavane.
The soul is only happy with the super soul by serving. This is the original nature of the soul.
Ir siela tikrai laiminga tarnaudama super sielai. Tai yra tikroji sielos prigimtis.
So we can be free from this false ideas and all mental concoction and false identification.
Tokiu būdu mes galime būti išlaisvinti nuo tų netikrų supratimų ir išvedžiojimų.
By knowing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, by hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Gaudami Bhagavad Gita žinias, studijuodami Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Ačiū labai.
Sorry, this verse was very scientific verse, you have to know.
Šiandienos tekstas labai moksliškas.
You have to go through the whole Bhagavad Gita, what we are, what is matter, what is soul, and this, and all the cosmic. It's very scientific.
Reikia apgalvoti, kas yra Bhagavad Gita, kas yra skurta, tai yra labai moksliška.
Is there any comments, Prabhu? Any you would like to say special?
Thank you for a wonderful class. I really enjoyed how you emphasize these in a very balanced way. You show that actually there's a superior controllers like demigods, but ultimately there's Krishna who is above all of them, and actually these demigods like Shiva, Brahma, they all in control of in some part of material energy.
Yes.
And I remember this one verse in Bhagavad Gita, I cannot recall which exactly it is, but it says that Krishna says that all living entities in this material universe are under control of, I think it's the same chapter 7, under control of my illusory influence. So
this is also, there's another verse, 9 chapter 10th verse, Maya Dakshin Prakriti Swete Chara Hetunana Konte.
So yeah,
it is my nature.
Yeah.
It is
it
my
made me immediately think that these demigods also, I mean, it's like they also.
Yeah, basically, demigods. This is it is just in a possession. It's a position.
Yeah.
What they attaining just by the modes of goodness.
Yeah. I like also like the way that you presented that actually there are the superiors who keeping you in this prison. I mean, we have to show respect to these powerful personalities, but not like take them as the ultimate, superiors, like ultimate. But we have to. I mean, Indra and everyone we hear, or Brahma, we hear a lot of also stories about them, how they fall for material energy or something, pride or something. But still, we have to. I mean, I'm just saying that we have to find a balanced way to actually respect their superiority over us. Also, but ultimately, we go to Krishna if something. Krishna is yes. Yeah, if you know the president of a country, it will, you don't have to. You can feel safe under other.
Basically, yeah, Prabhupada saying in his class that one has to obey the rules. If we know the government rules, we understand and we obey, yeah, we respect. So then the police has nothing to do with the citizen, because they are working under the president.
Also, in the same way, we just recently spoke about Bhrigu Muni's story, how he found out that Vishnu Narayana is the supreme also. He has tested all the Trimurti representatives. I mean, like these Brahma, Shiva, and ultimately Vishnu, and he found out that he has the most superior qualities. Yeah, and also I want to share one story, but
Yeah, please.
we have time. I also have to translate. I'm in trouble. Maybe it's so. Anyway, you mentioned John Lennon. Prabhupada quoted Prabhupada and other. So who was other personality? I think John
Kennedy.
Lennon. Not Lennon, like Kennedy. Yeah, but I remember John Lennon. There's a pastime where, Srila Prabhupada had a lot of relationship with Beatles, and George Harrison started following very, very rigidly at some point. Like he wanted to get initiated even. And John Lennon was a bit interested, but he was arguing with Srila Prabhupada. He had some own conceptions on spirituality. So, but he had a very, very big addiction for heroin also. Like, he was in a big trouble, and Prabhupada, he used to approach Prabhupada like in shaking and, in all his turbulences going. And he was asking for help from Prabhupada. He said, I see that your disciples deal with this nicely. And Prabhupada tried to help him, but he still didn't want to accept some points, on philosophy and something. And Prabhupada told to him, you have to give up immediately, you have to cut. And then after that he wrote a famous song called Turkey. Called Turkey is a term that, when you just smoke a pack of cigarettes in one day, another day you just zero, finished, no more. And then your body goes under you experience like shock and everything, but you just stick to that, you just go on, and at some point it normalizes, So sometimes Prabhupada recommended it's like finish, no more. So he wrote this song called Turkey, but he still would see that he didn't have enough faith in spiritual progress, in spiritual practice. So he would still approach Srila Prabhupada with all his completely damaged, and his mind was going crazy, and one of Prabhupada's disciples would see, his servant would see the meetings of them too. And when he would leave, Prabhupada would proudly show, he says, you my devotees, you surrender to Krishna. That's what this verse, Maya Dakshina.
Maya Dakshina Prakritis.
No, the other. Mameva Prapadanate.
Mameva
Yeah.
Prapadanate.
The ones who surrender to me, they overpass illusory energy very, very easy. But the one who doesn't surrender, he has to go severe suffering.
Severe suffering, yeah.
Prabhupada made this example that Krishna's devotee is easy to deal with all these miseries, but I should so I wanted to share.
Very nice.
How even a very powerful person in this material world, but still he has to deal with this very big struggle, and with his attachments for sense gratification and so on.
I just understood that how John Kennedy was killed as a president.
Pagalvojau, kad kaip John Kennedy buvo nužudytas.
All of his opulence, all of his security, nobody could save him.
Ir visa jo apsauga negalėjo jo apsaugoti.
So how we can say that we are happy? There is no one happy.
Ir kaip mes galime pasakyti, kad mes esame laimingi, tai
Because
nėra laimė.
if we depend on the matter, we cannot be happy.
Jeigu mes esame priklausomi nuo materijos, tai mes negalim būti laimingi.
We creating basically all these miseries, all these mundane ideas, because if we see nowadays atomic or nuclear countries, everyone want to be nuclear power.
Ir visa tai yra tiesiog proto idėjos, nes jeigu mes pažiūrėkime į šalis, kurios turi branduolinį ginklą ir jeigu jie visi panaudotų tą ginklą.
But do they understand how harmful to create one nuclear bomb and the radiation is there in the power plant?
Ir ar jie supranta, kad sukūrus tą branduolinį ginklą, panaudojus, kokia radiacija bus Žemėje.
One day definitely people will come to this radiation
Ir visi bus paveikti tos radiacijos.
what to say, you know already what happened in Japan. Till
Ir,
today people, what's the scene there?
ir kas vyko Japonijoje.
Where is the science? Why they cannot control them? Why they cannot cure that situation? No, because it's not under.
Kur yra mokslas, kodėl jie negali suvaldyti.
That's why these scientists, they are very based on this theoretical knowledge, all mental concoction, always change. One another superior scientist will come, it will change your theory. This is not better, my one is better.
Ir mokslininkai, jų teorijos remiasi teoriniu prielaidom, ateina kitas mokslininkas ir nusveria jų teoriją ir pateikia kitą teoriją.
There was a time when Darwin theory was so prominent, like very famous.
Buvo laikas, kai Darvino teorija buvo tokia iškili, labai žymi.
But now there are other theories are coming up. That
Dabar
one is
ateina
being
kitos
rejected.
teorijos. Ir ta Darvino teorija buvo atmesta.
But soul is very practical. Soul has a consciousness. Soul doesn't come from just matter.
Ir mes esame sielos ir tai mes neateiname iš materijos.
That's why Prabhupada said that the car also, someone has took the elements from Krishna, that all this earth, air, water, and then they created buildings, because they are taking all this material energy from Krishna and after they constructing it.
Tai Prabhupada pasako, kad kažkas turi paimti Krišnos elementus, orą, žemę, vanduo ir kad galėtų pastatyti
Or
pastatus.
also similarly we see like that without the driver this car is a dead matter.
Taip pat pasakyta, kad be vairuotojo automobilis jisai nereikšmingas.
In the same way, when the material body is there, it is without soul, it is completely is dead.
Ir kad ir matome žmogaus kūną, kad ir koks jisai būtų,
No.
be sielos jisai yra miręs.
No any physician, no any doctor, no any scientist have power to make alive person make alive again.
Joks daktaras ar mokslininkas negali įdėti gyvybės.
Their science is not that we could do that.
Joks mokslas negali to padaryti.
Because soul is eternal.
Nes siela yra amžina.
So because this scientists, they're thinking, is body produced from the matter.
Mokslininkai galvoja, kūnas yra sukurtas iš medžiagų
And
materijos.
that's why they're stuck with this false ego.
Ir dėl to užstringama yra netikrame ego.
Want to say something, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
His Grace Mahabhagavat Prabhu ki jai.
Nitai Gaur Chandra Bhakta Vrinda.